Have you ever felt drawn to an inexplicable sign? An event so mysterious that it redefines your purpose and rewrites your destiny. This very encounter became the turning point in the life of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, who stumbled upon a burning bush that never consumed. What he found in that luminous glow wasn't just fire, it was a divine call, a mission that would compel him to confront one of the most powerful tyrants in history and reshape the future of his oppressed people. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Welcome to the second episode in our series on the life of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. Previously, we explored Musa's miraculous survival as an infant and his upbringing in Pharaoh's palace. After fleeing Egypt under the weight of a grave mistake and seeking refuge in Madian, Musa found solace, marriage, and a new life. However, fate would soon beckon him to return to Egypt, this time as a prophet with a formidable mission. Our focus today is on the momentous encounter known as the burning bush, and Musa's subsequent return to Egypt, with references drawn primarily from Surah Taha. After spending several years in Madian, building a family and settling into a peaceful routine, Musa embarked on a journey with his household. During this journey, a night of profound significance arrived. The Quran in Surah Taha 29 introduces the event with a question. And has the story of Moses reached you, O Muhammad? This rhetorical question invites us into the unfolding drama. It sets the stage for a turning point in Musa's life, one that would transform him from a humble shepherd into a prophet of Allah. As Musa traveled under the dark sky, he noticed a radiant light in the distance. Believing it might offer warmth or guidance, he decided to approach it. In Surah Taha 20:10, Allah narrates, "When he saw a fire and said to his family, 'Stay here. Indeed, I have perceived a fire. Perhaps I can bring you a torch therefrom, or find some guidance at the fire.'" This verse captures Musa's initial, practical thought. He could use fire for warmth, or perhaps find a guide who could help them navigate the landscape. Little did he know that this fire was unlike any earthly flame and was about to unveil a divine revelation. Upon nearing the source of this mesmerizing fire, Musa found himself in the presence of a phenomenon beyond human comprehension. Surah Taha 20:11-12 recounts the astounding moment. "And when he came to it, he was called, 'O Moses, indeed I am your Lord, so remove your sandals. Indeed you are in the sacred valley of Tuwa, and I have chosen you, so listen to what is revealed to you.'" The voice emanated from this mysterious light, declaring itself as the Lord of Musa. The command to remove his sandals signified the sanctity of the ground, a place where the earthly meets the divine. This extraordinary encounter signaled that Musa had been handpicked for a greater mission. Surah Taha 20:14 highlights the core of this message. "Indeed, I am Allah. There is no deity except me, so worship me and establish prayer for my remembrance." In this direct proclamation, Allah affirms his oneness and instructs Musa to commit to worship and prayer. This foundational statement underpins Musa's prophetic calling, anchoring his mission in the absolute oneness of Allah. As Musa stood overwhelmed by awe and humility, the signs of Allah's power began to manifest. In Surah Taha 20:17-19, Allah questions Musa about the staff he was carrying and then instructs him to cast it to the ground. Allah said, "And what is that in your right hand, O Moses?" He said, "It is my staff. I lean upon it, and I bring down leaves for my sheep, and I have therein other uses." Allah said, "Throw it down, O Moses." So he threw it down, and thereupon it was a snake moving swiftly. What had been a simple shepherd's staff transformed into a living serpent, startling Musa and demonstrating the extraordinary divine power behind his mission. With Musa still unsettled by the staff's sudden change, Allah reassured him. In Surah Taha 20:20-21, we read, Allah said, "Seize it and fear not. We will return it to its former condition, and draw in your hand to your side. It will come out white without disease." Another sign. Not only was the staff restored to its original form when Musa picked it up, but Allah also granted another miracle. Musa's hand would radiate a brilliant light upon being drawn from his side, without harm or ailment. These signs were not mere spectacles. They were credentials affirming Musa's prophethood and would serve as evidence when he confronted Pharaoh. Following these miraculous demonstrations, Allah delivered the command that would change the course of history. In Surah Taha 20:24, Allah orders Musa, "Go to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed." This succinct decree encapsulated Musa's daunting mission. Pharaoh was not merely an unjust king. He had elevated himself to a near-divine status, proclaiming himself as a god over Egypt. To challenge such a figure required unwavering faith and a clear endorsement from the Almighty. Musa had been prepared through hardship, guided to Madian, and now equipped with miraculous signs. Still, the task loomed large. Conscious of his weaknesses, Musa responded with a prayer that remains a hallmark for anyone facing seemingly insurmountable challenges. In Surah Taha 20:25-28, Musa implores Allah, Moses said, "My Lord, expand for me my breast with assurance, and ease for me my task, and untie the knot from my tongue, that they may understand my speech." Musa's humble request teaches us that reliance on divine assistance is paramount when confronted with formidable tasks. He acknowledged his need for clarity of speech and composure of heart to effectively convey Allah's message to Pharaoh and his court. Musa also asked for the support of his brother, Aaron. In Surah Taha 20:29-32, Musa pleads, "And appoint for me a minister from my family, Aaron, my brother. Increase through him my strength, and let him share my task." By seeking help, Musa exemplifies the importance of brotherhood and mutual support in carrying out a righteous mission. Allah granted his request, underscoring that collaborative effort can amplify one's ability to stand firm against oppression. With these divine favors granted, Musa set forth to return to Egypt. The notion of going back must have been laced with apprehension. He had fled as a fugitive, having once struck an Egyptian man in a moment of anger, resulting in the man's death. But armed now with Allah's signs and the assurance of his brother's assistance, Musa was prepared to face the formidable regime of Pharaoh. The years in Madian had tempered his character and nurtured his spirituality, essential traits for the divine mandate he was about to fulfill. Though Surah Taha provides the core narration of the burning bush incident, various other Quranic chapters, like Surah Al-Qasas, complement the story by adding context and details. Collectively, these verses depict a man torn between his past and the colossal task ahead. Yet Musa's unwavering trust in Allah and his reliance on prayer and supplication set an example for believers navigating their own life challenges. From a broader perspective, the burning bush is a moment that symbolizes enlightenment and divine guidance. Musa approached it seeking worldly benefits, fire for warmth, or direction in the dark. Instead, he found a spiritual flame that illuminated his heart and mind, igniting the mission of prophethood. The Quran often highlights how Allah's guidance can come in unexpected forms, turning ordinary events into catalysts for profound change. For modern believers, Musa's encounter at the burning bush offers timeless lessons. One of the most important is the necessity of spiritual readiness. Musa was granted revelation at precisely the right time, after enduring trials that shaped his humility and empathy. This sequence of life experiences underscores that divine wisdom orchestrates a believer's journey in ways that prepare them for future responsibilities. Another key lesson is the transformative power of solitude and reflection. Musa's call came while he was away from the bustle of civilization, tending to personal responsibilities. This pattern appears repeatedly in the lives of prophets, suggesting that sometimes stepping away from societal clamor and engaging in earnest reflection can open the heart to greater spiritual truths. We also see that Allah's instructions are paired with tangible signs. Musa wasn't sent to Pharaoh empty-handed. He possessed miraculous tokens of divine authority, the staff that turned into a serpent and the radiant hand. These signs served not only as proof to Pharaoh, but also as reassurance to Musa himself. In our own lives, though we may not wield miracles, we often encounter smaller signs or affirmations that embolden us to stand for what is right. The call to return to Egypt underscores the principle that believers are often tasked with confronting injustice head-on. It is seldom a comfortable path. Musa had every reason to avoid Pharaoh, yet Allah commanded him to go directly to the seat of tyranny. This highlights a crucial aspect of faith. Standing for truth and justice is a divine duty, even in the face of personal risk. True reliance on Allah involves stepping forth despite fear, trusting that He will pave the way. In the narrative, Musa's prayer for eloquence and his plea for his brother's support remind us that even great prophets recognize their human limitations. Instead of succumbing to fear, they turn to Allah for the necessary tools. In a similar vein, believers today can find solace and courage by seeking divine aid for tasks that appear overwhelming. The story reassures us that when sincerity and humility guide our efforts, Allah empowers us to accomplish what we might otherwise deem impossible. As we wrap up this episode, Musa's journey is poised at a critical juncture. He has received his divine commission, witnessed unprecedented miracles, and been commanded to confront the mightiest ruler of his era. The theme of returning physically to Egypt and spiritually to the path of service echoes through the ages. It reminds us that renewal and responsibility often lie beyond our comfort zones. Just as Musa had to revisit the place of his greatest fears, we too may need to address unresolved challenges if we are to fulfill our potential and purpose. In the next episode, we will follow Musa's footsteps as he stands before Pharaoh. We will see how the prophet's newfound resolve and the signs granted by Allah clash with Pharaoh's arrogance and the idolatrous system sustaining his power. For now, the burning bush serves as a powerful testimony to how one divine encounter can kindle a world-changing mission. May the lessons of Musa's call inspire us to answer our own calls in life, upholding truth, seeking guidance, and placing our trust firmly in the one who orchestrates all destinies. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of all that exists, and may peace and blessings be upon His noble messenger, Muhammad, and upon all who follow the path of righteousness until the day of judgment.